My name is Hart Cunningham. I'm running for the 2020 presidential election. And this is about a 15-minute video talking about the major issues that I believe Republicans really care about. This is an election that cannot go by party line. This is an election that must be done for the candidate that really resonates with things you care about. Family values, economics, immigration, and military. Those are the four main topics I'll discuss. I'll talk about how my administration views these different issues. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear the challenges ahead in your mind. So on the first side, on family values, realize I was born in Memphis, Tennessee. I did not know a Democrat until my early teens. My whole family was Republican. Hunting, church, lunches, dinners, family gatherings, football. Standard Memphis, Tennessee. I did not know a person that did not hunt. I did not know a person that did not go to church. Family values is just part of the standard of growing up. Homeownership is part of family values, as if you need to establish your kid's first bedroom, their backyard, where they're throwing a football, all the different memories, when that first dog came into your life, where those first steps are, all the different little home improvement projects. That's something that is evading many Americans. Faith, religion, and church. We have to realize that faith is under attack. On the Republican Party, you're starting to have different groups. The conservatives, they're not on this same board that Trump's going through. It's a completely different world. Oh, God told me to go to war with North Korea. Oh, God told me to steal from the homeless. Oh, God told me to put people in prison longer so that they can be monetized, right? These are odd things. We've heard this over and over again. Who says these type of things? The faith, the church, they're not on board with this. Guns in the hands of safe and sane people. When I think of guns, I think of a 30-06 going out into a deer stand, sitting there with my grandpa for 4 hours and talking about life and really looking at the pattern of a deer and making it a sportsmanship, right? I think about a shotgun and going skeet shooting. I think about, a 38 for home protection. What I do not think about is an AR-15 with 15 rounds per quarter of a second being shot into colleges, churches, high schools. How are we possibly thinking this is the right move? If we're in support of the NRA, let's talk about self-defense. Let's talk about outdoorsmanship. Let's talk about hunting. Let's talk about, the ways that this country really came about in terms of family values, right? The next topic I want to get into is in economics. The Republicans I know, the conservatives, they want to get back to a manageable debt. $20 trillion deficit. We're about to add another 1.7 over the next 15 to 30 years for additional nuclear arms. Now, if you study history and you understand how inflation works, you can see that every single time the Fed turns on that printing press, every single time that we're printing additional money simply for different legislative means, it has harm. It creates possible opportunities for inflation because here's how the world works. The American Fed runs off our currency, the United States currency, and that's our central bank. And almost every single country has a central bank except for Iran and North Korea. And every single central bank in every one of these countries runs off the US dollar. The dollar determines the economy of the world. And so when the dollar is printed on a printing press every single day to make more nuclear arms, you start having inflation. You start having the value of the dollar depreciates. You look at China, Japan, others, they're selling our dollar. They've been the largest owner of it for some time. We're not on the gold standard. There's no fiat anymore. There is zero actual commodity that's related to the actual dollar, right? It is simply fiction. We're in a fiat-based economy. So the more that we print, the less chance of the United States government being able to get out of this situation. So I want to be on the same page. I want to be a presidential candidate that will get this deficit under control. And that's through spending internally, investing within the local communities and not on nuclear arms. not on so many different bureaucratic efforts right now. How has that changed over time, right? I mean, look at what happened to Germany after World War I. They had to make up $6 to $10 billion in paybacks. And so what happens is they started printing money. Look what happened with Zimbabwe. They had a $1 trillion bill. They also had a $10 trillion bill. And so you might say, hey, I could never see a situation where the United States has inflation out of control, blah, blah. You look back at the economic crisis, they've happened. They've been very aggressive. I mean, look what happened in the 20s. Look what happened, the 80s. Look what happened, 10, 15 years ago. So the entire world depends upon a safer spending by America on the public sector. And that's something that's not happening. That's something that conservatives and Republicans vote for, but it's not happening. The opposite is happening, right? So number 2, economics, spending control. Number 1, family values, we covered. Number 3, we're going to talk about immigration. And so the hard line on this from the red states is that, hey, we need tougher controls, etc. But weren't we all immigrants at some time? Weren't your relatives? Weren't your grandparents? I mean, follow your lineage. At what time do you say, hey, put up the walls? I believe in bridges. I believe in having a competitive environment. Our administration realizes that this is a globalized world, and this is a world in which we want the smartest and brightest people. We also realize there's a lot of jobs that the average American does not want to do. Do you want to go out into a farm for 14 hours a day with little water, working in agriculture? Do you want to basically do some of these manual labor jobs? There are hard-working people, and the comforts of American society depend upon that. You must look at the full cycle of how things work in the actual workplace to make these judgments on immigration. Number 4, military. And let's talk about this. Most countries have 1, maybe 2 military bases outside of their borders. The United States of America has 800. And this started after World War II for good reason. But it's getting a little imperialistic, right? I mean, the Afghan war, there's a famous quote, let the Afghans control their destiny through Afghan ways, right? Like, so when Britain came in there, when Russia came in there, and when the United States came in, nothing happened, nothing of value, simply just destruction. You look at Iraq, how we came in there. Mesopotamia was the foundation of civilization 5,000 years ago. Yet we go in there, destroy every single resemblance of our past, of humankind. I'm a presidential candidate that wants to deter destruction of humankind past and future. And when I mean future, it's climate change. Climate science is real and we must address it. I understand that you want to support big oil and gas. I understand that Monsanto is not the devil to you. But I would love to talk about how big oil and gas can shift to renewable and how with slight legislative changes that can happen. And I want to talk about how Monsanto can move away from GMO and how they can move toward organic crops. And these are very, very important things. But on the military side, these are humanitarian efforts that need to be made on our 800 military bases, right? So this is actually working against climate change, helping different societies with love and respect. We have so many fine people representing our country, but it's harder to get people in the military nowadays. We have lowered the bar. We're allowing people that have had a lot of issues in their life to enter the military. It's not as much of an honor as it was when I was a child. And we need to change that. And the way we change that is the activities of the military. What does that day-to-day process look like? Are you helping start the new world of renewable energy, humanitarian efforts, a nuclear-free world, one of peace, one of democracy? Or are you continually threatening others outside your borders? Are you polluting? Are you helping and empowering big oil and gas? We can be a strong, robust, and lethal military. At the same time, we don't lead with the big stick. We lead in a softer, loving approach, one that helps all. Because an American citizen, you're a citizen of this world. So I ask you to vote for your candidate, not the party line, as I would be a Republican if things have not changed so drastic, because I think of Abraham Lincoln as a Republican, not Donald Trump. Those are the ideals I have. You have to realize that the Civil War, the last person that died that was actually part of it was in 1953. The last person that died that was actually in that same age died in 1956. That's not that long ago, right? My father lived during these times. So haven't they suffered enough? I mean, doesn't that really resonate with you? The fact that a human used to own another human? I mean, only 4% of African Americans in slavery lived past age 65. I mean, really think about that, right? We must empower all. We must look aside at our past and be embarrassed at part of it and try to have a brighter future toward racial equality, renewable energy, humanitarian efforts, and a nuclear-free world. This isn't weakness. This is strength of mind using logic. Hart Cunningham, 2020, Republicans. Let's do the right thing here. Grateful for the time.